Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting Radio. EB Radio. EB Radio. Your station for empowerment presents Mom Boss Talk Radio, a show that brings real life, real moms, and real experiences to empower mom bosses everywhere to be ambitious, highly driven, fierce, fabulous, and fearless. Mom Boss Talk Radio begins now.
Welcome, mom bosses all over the world. It is another amazing Thursday, and that means it's time for another great discussion with the mom bosses. Now, we are happy and excited that you are joining us again. Okay, now this show is about three mom bosses bringing you real life, real experiences to empower you as a mom boss. I am your host, Monyetta Hamilton. I am the owner of La Allure Couture and mom of two. Now, today, my co-hosts, Jerisha Moore Smith and Kiana Morgan, will not be joining us today. It's just going to be us. Okay, we're going to be chit-chatting it up. They will be joining us again. But I'm like, hey, let's have a little chat. Now, if you know me, I am a big advocate of mental health. And I really thought today we could definitely dive into, the realm of mental health and how it affects our day to day. Now me, if you don't know, I suffer from high anxiety, depression, and so I'm very passionate about this topic. And I was looking through some things and I found this really cool little saying that I kind of pulled off of, if you know me, I love me some good Pinterest now. I pulled it off Pinterest. I love looking at the quotes. It really does motivate me and kind of pushes me and gets me through the day or whatever funk I'm in. And it says, perfection is not real. Set yourself free from the thought that you need to reach this non-existent and impossible state of being, and start to embrace your wonderfully imperfect self in life. And I was thinking when I read that, it really came into my head of like, wow, us as moms, as we stated in many, many podcasts, and we will probably state in many, many more, that we wear a plethora of hats. Like we are the quintessential of these different characters in not only our own lives, but our families' lives. We are the doctors and the lawyers and the the cooks and everything in between, the super mom. We are the super mom. And we kind of, for me anyway, I kind of look out and I feel like they're looking for me to be this, as I stated before, this super mom. And I had to come to this whole conclusion of like, I'm not perfect. I have flaws as all of us does. But I have my own flaws and I'm working through them daily. And some things you just can't fix. And when you incorporate that with being an entrepreneur, you want everything to be perfect. You want to, make sure everything is, the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, that you don't want to fail. No one wants to fail. But we have to come to this conclusion that we're going to fall short in a lot of areas. And it's okay for us to fall short. We have these unrealistic expectations of ourselves. And it's great to think high. It's great to think highly of yourself and to think highly of others. And that's, sometimes when we put ourselves or others on these pedestals, when they don't live up to that standard, we're disappointed. But we can only be disappointed in ourselves because we put them there or we put ourselves there. It's okay to not be perfect. With me and, for those who have started a business, who are new to business and, are trying to figure out the kinks of everything, it's kind of like it's kind of like, okay, what do I do? Where can I go? Where do I stand? I want everything to be perfect straight out the gate, and it's not how it works. Because I'm learning now, as I'm in a year of this business, that is very hard. And you might not even make any, and a lot of businesses don't make profit in their first year, and it might take them years to make profit and do anything that they need to do. And it's okay if you don't make profit as long as you get started and you have a vision. Just keep pushing through it, because there's going to be things that come up that you weren't expecting, and you just have to be ready, mentally prepare yourself. Like, okay, I might not know that this thing is going to come, but if it does, I'm mentally ready for it. And then you won't be emotionally drained, or you won't feel broken, because you've mentally prepared your mind that something may happen. And now you're prepared for it. And there is a very small, there is a small percentage of people who can just do it out the gate and are very successful. And guess what? Applaud them. Okay? Applaud them. That's great. But for those, and I'm speaking for those who are in that stage in their life where they, you know, they're trying to figure out the correct move and, what to do next. It's okay if you fail. And, and believe me, I am learning this along with y'all. Okay? Believe me, I've had to look inside myself and actually kind of sit back and have a conversation with myself. It's like, wait a minute, pull yourself back. It is okay that this did not work out. Let's go to the next plan, because it's not going to always go as you want it to. Life is funny in that way. You kind of look at it as like, okay, because let me just say, I have a habit of putting or thinking highly of certain things. And I too became disappointed when those things did not go into fruition, because I had my hopes so high. And sometimes you have to pull yourself back. You have to have that conversation with yourself. Or if you have, great friends who are supportive, or family who are supportive, that you can kind of say, okay, let's have this discussion, because I'm not where I need to be in my, I need someone to talk to. It's okay if you fail. It's okay if you fall short. If you don't want to call it failure, hey, that's great. Say you fall short. But the thing that I think people don't realize, don't give up, don't stop what you're doing because something didn't go your way originally. It just didn't work out. It wasn't for you. And as a mom, you want to ensure that your kids are seeing this great example of, someone who succeeds in all aspects. That's not always the case, because I think children, kids, teenagers, they need to see failure as well. Because with failure, you'll get to see that person pull themselves back up and try again. And if they only see someone succeed, that's great. That's wonderful. Also in its own right. But I feel like kids definitely need to see a balance. They do. They definitely need to see a balance. Like, okay, if you didn't, if something didn't go right, talk to your kids about it. Like, okay, this is why it didn't go right. But guess what? I'm about to go back in there. I'm going to try again. I'm going to try a different approach to make sure, my plan continues to go on. It's okay. And that's a life lesson that everybody has to learn, that it's okay to fail. It hurts. Oh, believe me, it hurts. Because your vision has definitely, now been kind of, maybe in your mind hurt a little bit. But my whole thing is like, if you if you have a vision, no matter how many times you fall, as long as you get back up and you keep pushing for it, it's going to work out. It might not be your time, you know, or it just might not be the right um the right category. It could be a whole lot of factors, but that does not mean that you're a failure. It just means that some things just needs to be tweaked. And I know for a fact with my kids, they have seen the ups and downs of business. And I want them to understand that business is not going to be a walk in the park. It is very, very time consuming. It is very, very hard. But guess what? At the end of the day, once you get to that point, I feel is the gates are just going to open. You're going to feel great. You're going to feel accomplished. I want people to kind of have in their head that no matter how many, things kind of cross your path, that you're ready for it. And mental health can be a very, very hard thing to deal with as well when you're trying to make these plans or goals, because now you're dealing with mental health issues. Now you have to deal with, the fluctuating emotions that you have on top of all of that. It's not easy dealing with that type of, just like if you were physically unable to do things, it's going to make things harder, but that doesn't mean you're going to stop. It's just you're going to have to, rework everything to accommodate the things that is going to give you a harder time. With me, mental health, with my high anxiety, with my depression, it stops me in my tracks. So I don't get everything done that I would like to get done. But I manage, I sit there and I plan. I'm like, look, I know that these are my roadblocks, and I know that I have to do something to make sure that my dream and my vision comes alive, because these are the things that are stopping me. So what do? I have to plan around it, because my depression is very deep. And, the reason why I'm saying this is because there's people out there that are in the same boat, that are feeling the same exact way. And I don't want them to feel alone, because for the longest time I felt alone. Like, am I the only one going crazy? I feel like I'm going crazy, but it's not the case. I'm not crazy. You're not crazy. Your mental health is very important. And especially if you have a goal, a dream, and you're trying to reach that goal and reach that dream, but your roadblocks of mental health is stopping you. No, you work around that. From a woman who lives it on a daily, you can work around that. I want to make sure that you're encouraged and that you're pushing through and that you're doing everything possible to get to your end goal. No matter how many roadblocks, no matter how much mental health, but make sure you take that time and you cater to your mental health. In those times where you feel like you're falling short, stop what you're doing and you take care of your mental health. And then once you are done, catering to yourself and giving yourself love, then you get back out there and you do what you have to do. Because if you're strong enough to start it, even if you have to start it over and over again, if you're strong enough to start it, then you're strong enough to finish it. And this is from a woman who is going through it. I've made so many strides. With my business, I've seen so many strides. I've grown so much. I've learned so much. I research, I study, I do everything I can to make sure that I am mentally able to do this work. You're not alone in this mission at all. You're not, you're not alone. I just want to make that 100% clear, because I completely understand. Mental health is something that, can really be debilitating. and can really, really bring you down. But you got this. You have this. Okay? If you haven't heard it, I'm saying this now. You got this. It is that's just, I know I'm going on a rant. I'm very passionate about this. Like, this is something that is really near and dear to my heart because people just don't understand. There's a lot of us out there who are pushing and trying to make this work. And we're going to make it work. We're going to all be successful in our own right, in our own way. Okay. So I just wanted to, come in here and chat with you guys and let you know that you got this. Protect your mental health, protect your heart, protect your mind. I am very glad that you tuned in just to hear me. Okay. We are Mom Bosses on a mission to empower moms all over the world. Mom Bosses, remember to be ambitious, highly driven, fierce, fabulous, and fearless. You are making moves, honey. You got this. Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Mom Boss Talk Radio. Follow each of the Mom Bosses on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you love Mom Boss Radio, visit the website at www.envisionedbroadcasting.com. We'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review on iTunes. Until next time.